Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people, we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed.
Celebrating 40 years is a significant milestone that often evokes reflection, gratitude, and recognition of accomplishment.
Feeling very excited about it. When I reflect on it, some artists took 10 to 15 years before they get through. They keep knocking at the door. The first time the nation heard about the Limers Gilbert, they show me that love. They show me that respect. They go crazy over the beats. They go crazy over the excitement. They go crazy over the rhythm. And I appreciate that.
Sunday, August 3rd at the Progress Park in St. Andrew. It's Specky 40. Tickets available from gotofed.com. Presented by Limers Gilbert in association with the Spice Mass Corporation and Sedu.
Who want to jam a jamming too?
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation. Enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Yeah, 1, 2. Check. Okay, I guess I have to use this mic then. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. It is Monday on the ride. Happy to be back. Yeah. And someone asked me, happy to be back. Where did you go? I actually didn't go nowhere. It was not a vacation. It was a workation. You guys followed me all the way through. So it was a workation. But I'm happy to be back here in the air chair. I miss my chair sometimes. This is where, when I sit here sometimes, I feel a little bit different. Although I like the great outdoors, right? Yes, I like the great outdoors. I like to be outside. I like to be in Grenada. I love to be in Grenada or anywhere I travel. Love it. But I just have a different feeling when I'm back inside, man. But let me tell all you something. New York is very hot right now. It is extremely hot in New York. Lacey J, thank you so much for welcoming me back inside studio. Yeah. Okay, guys. So listen. Serafina Kwashi, how you doing? Welcome back to the ride. Welcome to the ride, Serafina Kwashi. How you doing? Listen, today we're going to share a story, right? I know a lot of you forgot about this story because it was about September 20th of 2019, just about six years, right? This September gonna make it 6 years since this tragic accident where a bus plunged into the sea. Now, I know a lot of you didn't quite remember the story. because we are not kind of 24-hour news cycle. Something happened and then everybody forget about it. Everybody forget about the tragedy. News agencies bring it up just for the day, not even the following day. You're just not hearing about it. But in between that tragedy or inside of that tragedy are actual lives, like people was actually affected by this. Now, if you guys remember clearly, there were one fatality. So I could bring it up. I go jog your memory a little bit. This was the story, guys. This was the story.
Heroes Adriel Purcell from Belmont Carriacou, Jake Edmond and Taron Hazel, fishermen from the sister isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, were sitting on a vessel in the vicinity when the bus took the plunge. 17-year-old Adriel Purcell rescued a toddler and a pregnant woman.
I was coming out from Grenville and I walk in a car and I just see the bus come straight till and he went in the water. Then I run across, then I jump, then I see a baby was floating, then I take him up and put him on the I send he had a man been fishing. I give the man who was fishing in the baby, and then I hear somebody scream out a pregnant, then I go down again, then I see a pregnant lady, then I pull her up.
Fisherman Taron Hazel also jumped into action.
Well, we just arrived and we just was sitting right there, and then they say accident, so then we just run straight down to see what's going on, and when we get there everybody was in danger, so then we just had to assist them one time, get the people out and do what we have to do because we are all human beings.
His compatriot Jake Edmond says his reflexes also kicked in.
Basically, we had a little accident with the bus, fell over in the water. We respond as soon as we can. When we get there, we didn't really have nobody yet trying to save their lives. So me and other friends get into the water one time as soon as possible and try getting the people out of the bus one by one, making sure everybody was out safe and alive. And we did what we can, we did the best we can to make sure we get everybody safe out.
The accident occurred as several people traversed the carnage on one of what is usually a busy Friday morning. We caught up with one of the persons who witnessed the freak accident.
I was on my way down from Young Street because I was heading to Hotspot. And when I stopped by the land, I heard a tick, 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 tick noise. When I looked back, I saw a white old school bus was coming down at least 60 miles an hour. The bus hit the edge of the wall there and went into the water, wheels down. Then the next thing I saw was a baby float up from the water. One of the guys there, they grabbed the baby and they handed it to one of the pedestrians. So when the pedestrian took the baby, there was quite a few people still in the bus because the bus was filled. And after that, there was the divers from the respective fishing vessels there. They jumped in and assisted with the rescue of the people. And there was quite a few elderly people who frotted. There was few who lost consciousness and stuff like that. So that's, and I'm hoping that everybody comes out successful.
That was September 20th of 2019. Joining us right now is Beverly. Now, Beverly was one of the survivors of that tragic incident on the Carnage. Beverly, thank you and welcome to the ride, and thanks for coming on to share your story and update on what happened there. Are you hearing me? Beverly? All right, hold on one second, Beverly. Right, Beverly. Beverly, are you hearing me? Beverly, are you hearing me? All right, Beverly, I want you to, I can't hear you, so I would like if you could log back out and come back in. Just go back out and come back in because we're having some problems hearing you. Just try one more time, Beverly. Speak again. All right. Let's have Beverly reconnect again. Because it's important that we hear Beverly's story. Because as I said, it seems like everyone forgot about this particular incident. But Beverly and a lot of others who actually went through this tragedy, they're not doing well at this point, 6 years later. And that's why it's important. I thought it was important to hear Beverly's story, to bring her on, because she is not doing well. It seems, as Beverly would articulate, when once we get her connected back, that everyone forgot about her and the ordeal. And to date, she sustained severe injuries, and those injuries are affecting her even a day like today. Let me see if we could get back Beverly on. Beverly, are you there? Beverly, are you there? All right, hold on. I was hearing Beverly fine earlier. I don't know what happened to Beverly audio. Um, Beverly, let me know if you hear me, Beverly. And once we make that reconnection with Beverly, which I am sure that we will, one way or the other, we'll hear from Beverly today. It's important that we hear the stories. Remember, on September 20th, that day, one person lost their life, and it was a full bus. Some came out severely injured from this particular incident. Some had short term injuries, but Beverly is still trying, and maybe she will never overcome the injuries that she sustained. So we're waiting for Beverly to reconnect. Let's try again. Beverly, are you hearing me? Beverly, are you there? I think everything is in place. My audio. She should get someone to assist. Yeah, she does have someone there to assist her. Uh, Beverly, try again. All right, she went off and she's gonna reconnect again. She does have someone there. Her daughter is there to assist her. But regardless of what, guys, even if we have to hear Beverly's story on the phone line, we're gonna hear her story. As I said, after 6 years, a lot of people, a lot of news agencies, um, basically moved on with another headline. That is not the headline anymore. There are other things that took up that. But the life that Beverly and others that are living now are directly related to that incident on the bus. So you may be asking, what type of compensation or what type of assistance are they getting or did they receive? You will be shocked to find out. Let's try again. Beverly, are you there? Yeah, Beverly, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. My phone's giving me some trouble.
No problem, no problem. I understand. And I'm happy that your daughter is there to assist you to fix this issue. But you hear me properly now, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, good, good, good. As I was saying earlier, Beverly, welcome to the ride. And I'm happy that you took the time out to share your story with us because it's a tragic incident. And I know it will bring back a lot of bad memories and bad feelings and bad emotions. So I thank you for coming on to share your story so people would understand what you are living through right now. So, Beverly, tell us about the story. What happened on that day, September 20th, 2019?
Okay. Um, just bear with me because it's a very sad story. I hope I don't have to shed no tears. You hearing me?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you
Are
just
you?
fine.
Okay. Well, on the morning of the 20th of September 20, I left home for work. At that time, I was working at South St. George Government School as a cook. I live at Mondeli St. David, so sometimes I pass the Westall route or sometimes I go to St. Paul's into St. George's. That morning, so my daughter and I took the bus from Mondelez into St. George's. And I got at 9:15. The bus came into the line and we boarded the bus about 9:30. So the bus left the terminal between 20 to 10 to quarter to 10. So that morning I was very late for work. The bus stopped right in front of Kentucky. That's on Granby Street. There was a man at the back of the bus and the driver had an argument. I don't know what they were arguing about, but they was quarreling. We stood up there for about roughly 8 minutes. Then we
Mhm.
drove up to Halifax Street where the police stopped the bus on top on the hill because of traffic again. And then we left the hill and went down to Young Street. On the way going down to Young Street, when the bus reached by Marketing Board, I heard blow.
Mm.
So the people in the bus was wondering what's going on if the tire blow or it had some cones in front of Market. I thought to myself, I said, well, maybe bounce off the cone, but then cone won't make all this noise. And with that, bus took up some speed and went down the hill, Young Street. Instead of swinging to Scott Street, we saw the bus going straight. So everybody in the bus
Right.
shouted, that man going with that bus. You tell me that man going and throw that bus in the sea. And by the time we say that, the bus ride up the platform and went down into the water. And what's
All right, pause it
shocking,
for a quick second, Beverly.
that
Pause
area,
it for a quick second, Beverly. Just pause for a quick second, because I want people to really understand the chronology of what happened, right? So did you hear the driver said anything as relating to the brakes or unable to control? Did he say anything to the passengers? Did he utter anything after you hear the loud explosion
he didn't,
in the tires?
where I was, where I was sitting, which people will call the exercising seat, the seat that you have to move every time for people to come out. So I didn't hear anything, but one of the guys who was sitting in front said when we heard the explosion coming down by Marketing Board, he heard something fell off the bus, and the driver said, "Oh shit!" And he started trying to put the bus in gear, but he couldn't get the bus into gear. That's when he ride up on the platform, and then he realized the bus would have capsized in the road, so he tried to turn to go to the road by Howard's towards Awasa, but it was too late. That's when the bus went over in the water. No, the bus
Okay,
went down.
coming down that hill, Beverly, coming down that hill. After the police give you direction at the top of that hill, right? Coming down that hill there by marketing board, the marketing board building was there. Did you feel like he came down there with an uncontrollable speed?
When he left the hill, when the police gave him the right of way to go, when he left the hill,
Right.
he left he left at the ordinary pace. When he reached by marketing board, and we heard the loud explosion, that's when the bus picked up speed and the driver couldn't control the bus. So the bus went down into the water, float and took its time, came back up and took its time and went down into the water again. At that time, well, I understand that the baby came out, the driver jumped out, so he didn't get to go down to the water in the water. And the seat I was sitting in,
There we didn't really have nobody yet trying to save their lives.
so I tried to kind of push her out of the window when the other people in the back was trying to get out. So she came out before me, but she was unconscious. I am the last person that came out from the bus. I stayed under the water for over 5 minutes. Right now, the doctor diagnosed that my left side of my brain is dead, which affects my right side. I am going through Parkinson's disease. I have no balance. I can't balance on my own. If you lift me up, I have to take a while to balance myself. I can't feed myself. I can't bathe myself because I have no balance. It's
Right.
very challenging.
Yeah, and Beverly, again, I don't mean to make you relive this whole story again, but I just want people to understand the severity of the accident because people have forgotten all about it, it seems. What let me ask you this, Beverly, from your recollection, right? When the bus went into the water, how did you escape or how did you get out? Because I know it was a full bus. Talk to us about what you remember once the bus submerged under the water.
I remember when the bus went down, um, I started praying. I said, God, I can't die here. No, I have all my children. And I started calling my children name. And then I knew I drank a lot of water. And after a while, I just like like when you want to sleep, like sleep. I just went into a deep sleep, and I didn't know anything
Mm.
until they pulled me water. I was in the ambulance when the ambulance passed in the back road by Nawa, and in there I find myself like swaying, like I going in and out, and I start throwing up water. Then I realized I'm in the hospital yard, and a nurse was telling
Wow.
me, "Mom, you have to try to get onto the other bed," and I was like, "Mom, I can't cross. I can't come off this bed here to go onto the other one because I was getting some pain on my side, like, and I'm not sure if my ribs are broken or whatever." And I remember the nurse shouting for me and telling me, "Well, I have to." I said, "Well, I can't." And then an orderly came and helped me. They switched me onto another bed and rolled me into the emergency room. And they started explaining that I went down in the bus went down, and I remember anything. And then I gave a statement as to what happened. They did a chest X-ray, and they said my lungs were filled with water, and I developed a pneumonia in my lungs. So I stayed in hospital for about 6 days. My daughter stayed for 9 days, but she was also diagnosed pneumonia in her lungs.
The accident occurred.
That was it.
Yeah, guys, we're having a little bit of a sorry, Beverly, it's not your fault. It's on my end. My connection is unstable, so we keep coming in and out. So I apologize for you and the viewers. Whenever my video stuck is because my internet just keep lagging a bit. But I was asking you, did you sustain any physical injury? Did you get a cut, a gash? Did they explain that you knocked something, or was there anything physical that they could have seen and dressed you up for?
I didn't get no like injury that you could see. My lungs were filled with water. I got a pneumonia in my lungs. I developed a pneumonia in my lungs. So um they had us in we were in the ICU unit.
Right. Okay. So no physical injury. How long did you stay in the hospital after that accident?
I stayed 6 days, and my daughter stayed for 9 days. We both were in the ICU unit. Are you hearing me? Hello? Hi, Junior, I'm not hearing you.
As several people traversed the carnage.
All right, guys, hold on. Let me just take this off quickly here because we're having some internet instability, and it's not any fault of Beverly. It's on my end. I could see my internet lagging a bit, so we apologize sincerely. for whenever you see my video stuck and something came up. It's on my end. Beverly, the last that I heard was that you stayed 6 days in the hospital, correct?
Yes, I stayed 6 days. My daughter stayed 9 days, and we both were in the ICU unit when we were admitted in the hospital.
Right. Okay. And when you got out, tell us about after you got out. Did you? I know you said that you had you was treated for certain things inside the hospital. Once you got out, were you physically fine? Were you okay? Did you have any complications immediately after
Um, when I got
you left?
when I got out, I was out. I did a checkup at the outpatient clinic. I got some medication to come out with, and I stayed home for a week and started back work on by February of the next year. I started noticing some changes. Well, I wasn't aware of it for myself. It's my friends I was seeing the difference in me and start asking me. Um, some call me Beverly, some call me by my surname. Mackenzie, what happened to you? Why are you moving so slow and like that? And I was like, I don't know, I'm feeling fine. And I find like when I doing my work in the kitchen, like I started moving very slow. I can't chop like my vegetables and thing, and I'm leaning on one side. And so I checked the doctor, and then he started questioning me concerning the accident, and he told me that I got an info in my brain, meaning that my left side of my brain is dead. It affects my right side, so that's why I'm off balance. I can't stand straight, and from that my body started deteriorating, and that's how it is. And now,
Right. Okay. Beverly, again, I don't mind to um keep cutting you on that, but there's a audio in the background. I believe that there's some kids playing in the background, and it's affecting your story because we can't hear you too clearly. So that's kind of cutting into your audio a bit. Whenever you speak, we're hearing the kids loud in the background. So I don't know if that's possible that you could remedy that. I really want to hear your story and what's happening now with you, if it's possible.
okay,
Right. While you fix that, let me just tell the people right here, folks right here was watching, guys. We're hearing Beverly's story, and that is
yes,
dated
yes.
back to September 20th of
After the
2019. This September 20th would make it
been hearing
six
them in the
years
background
to the
anytime
date,
they came out.
right? And Beverly just told us about the dramatic accident, the accident that claimed the life of one adult individual from a bus, so one of the old school bus coming down, playing that route. The bus and the whole entire story captivate the media platforms for at least a week. Everyone spoke about it. But what people forgot or what people never updated you on is that after that accident happened and after the media coverage, the folks that was involved sustained long-term effect that is affecting them even a day like today. Beverly is one of them. She sustained internal injuries to her head that basically paralyzed her, partially paralyzed her for her entire life. And she's sharing her story here with us. Um, Beverly, let's talk about your daughter. What injuries did your daughter sustain as a result of the accident?
But after she came out from the hospital and diagnosed with pneumonia in her, in her, in her lungs, um, she was pretty okay. But afterwards, she started complaining of some chest pain. So every now and then, she will complain of chest pains on her back. But other than that, she's pretty okay. We're hoping that she don't have no effect later on because she drank a lot of water, so she was unconscious. When she came out, they had her on the pavement, and people thought she had died. When I came out from the hospital, everybody was telling me, "We thought your daughter had died because they had her on the pavement trying to recover her. At that time, she was 9 years. Now she's 15. So all I'm praying is that it don't already affect her later on in life. But all for now, she just complained of just chest pain and the back.
Okay. All right. So after that accident happened, you spent the days in hospital, you came out. Days later, you start to feel, or your friends start to tell you that you're moving kind of slow. You're not feeling like yourself. What happened after that? Did you try to go back to the hospital to do a check for the checkup and see what's going on?
So that's when I went and checked the doctor. I went to Spice Image and checked one of the doctor there. That's when they diagnosed that the left side of my brain is dead because of that. Because I drank so much water and I stayed under the well, I was like underneath the water for over 5 minutes. And I don't think anybody could stay underwater over 5 minutes without a tank or some breathing apparatus. So the oxygen in my brain had lost. So I'm living today with a testimony that God is good. It's a God that have me here. But what I'm saying is the owner of the bus is saying to me that he's not responsible.
Yeah, I want to go into that.
He don't have
I want to
money.
I want to I want to go into that because that when you told me that part of the story, I was kind of in shock, right? Um so the bus was on the road. The bus was picking up passengers. The bus was full with passengers. The bus left the terminus, which means that it duly authorized to operate from the bus terminal. And when you found out more about it, the you later found out that the bus was what, not properly insured. Explain that to me.
Well, I already get the full story of that last week Monday because we had a session with our lawyer and the
Right.
mediator. They brought us to the mediator so that we could come to a conclusion, make a decision as to what they're going to contribute. But they asked Mr. Stanford
Okay.
Simon
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. The owner of the bus. Yeah.
to the owner of the bus to
Uh
give a
huh.
report as to what happened. He said that the bus he had bought the bus and he had it packed up in his yard. However, he never drove the bus, and this other person needed something for to transport people in the church. Genesis, could you get this shoe and quiet for me, please? This other person wanted some form of transportation to transfer to some members in the church. So he
Right.
told him he could use the bus, but he will have to finish pay the loan and the insurance and stuff like that. As we understand, the other person did all that,
Uh
but
huh.
the person who was driving the bus, they were supposed to go to the insurance people and paid some money onto the driver for the driver so that he could drive the bus, and that never happened. And then I think the name of the bus was still on the first owner. It didn't transfer. So what they're saying is that he's still responsible, but he's claiming that he's not. So that's what we
So
want
in
to know. Yeah.
so in a nutshell, you found out that the bus was not properly insured.
Well, he said the bus is insured. But what happened is that the transfer didn't have time make. They didn't make the transfer to take off the name on the first owner and put it onto the second owner. And they didn't pay any money on the driver's name. Okay? So the first owner is claiming to say that he has no responsibility of the bus anymore because the other person had paid the loan and pay up the insurance. But the name didn't transfer. So if the name didn't transfer, isn't he still responsible? Or both of them responsible?
Well, listen. Um, first of all, first of all, the insurance should have enough liability to cover every passenger on that bus, right?
What
The
is
insur-
what 1 minute? What the insurance is saying is that the policy breach because they didn't pay any money on the driver's name, the policy is breached and they are not paying up any money.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. The bus supposed to be insured. The owner supposed to ensure that the bus is properly insured. The owner and the driver should, and that's just my layman understanding of it, should make ensure that before taking a bus on the road, it should be properly insured, or you just don't allow it to go on the road, because at the end of the day, then it falls back to that the responsibility of the legitimate owner. And that is my understanding of it. So they're telling you that the owner is saying that he's not fully responsible because it was the driver, it wasn't properly transferred over, and the insurance is saying, well, they're taking away themselves because no money wasn't paid. So at this point in time, who take care of your medical bills? Who's paying your medical bills? Who's taking care
I
of you?
am I am doing everything. I am paying my medical bills. I have to if I have to move from point A to point B, I have to pay a taxi to drop me there because I can't walk. I can't take the ordinary bus to go where I want to go. So I have a lot of expenses, and the both parties saying that they don't have any money.
Well, okay. This is so you didn't ask to be in that situation. You got on the bus with a 20, 12 or 18 other passengers. You enter this bus assuming that you are covered in case of any accident or whatever. The insurance taking themselves out, the owners are taking themselves out, and you're the one paying all your medical bills to date and have been paying all your medical bills to date.
Yes, almost 6 years now. I paying all my medical bill, doing all my doctor checkup and everything.
So are you able to work? Are you able to still work and function like how
No,
you was before?
I can't walk anymore. I can't walk. It's been 2.5 years since I am not working. I'm home. I can't walk anymore. As I said earlier on, I don't have any motor skills. I can't hold a glass or a cup for long. I can't like tilt the cup or the glass into my mouth to drink. I have to use a straw to pull up. My daughter have to bathe me. I can't do stuff on my own for long,
Right.
and it's very challenging. It's junior is not an easy thing.
So Beverly, do you have a lawyer?
Not
Do
an
you have a
easy thing.
lawyer?
Yes, I have a lawyer. It's five of us that have that same lawyer.
So is the lawyer giving you regular and consistent updates on this and trying to look out for your well-being as it relates to your medical expenses and what you are claiming? Are you getting updates? Are you getting is this
We had a we had a
yeah.
a session with the lawyer last week Monday. Last week Monday we had a session with the lawyer and the mediator. That's when we go to mediator to come to a conclusion as to set a settlement instead of going to the judge. As they said, if we go to the judge, it will take longer. But the two parties don't want to take any reliability because they say they have no money. So they give us another date for the 25th of August for them to come up with some form of agreement as to what they intend to do. That's how it is so far. Are you hearing me?
We apologize. It's on my end. It's my fault. We having internet inconsistencies here at my studio. Um, Beverly, are you there? Are you here? Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. I'm
Okay,
hearing you.
yes. So what I don't understand And what I'm trying to understand is why is it that you have not been getting assistance to take care of your medical bills and you're unable to work, so the money, I mean, you obviously need assistance, and the responsibility and the liability should fall on that of the owner of the bus. Was the driver arrested? Was the driver arrested for
Yes, to my knowledge, the driver was arrested. I understand that his license was taken off from him. I don't know for how long, but I think right now he's driving another bus. That's what I understand. He's driving another bus.
right?
I went so far. I went so far, Junior. I called the owner, the first owner of the bus. I spoke to him. I let him know who I am and the situation. And that's when he first said to me, well, he's not responsible because the bus was sold over to somebody else.
The bus wasn't completely sold. The bus was
Well,
not sold. Be
that's what he said. But we understand that his name was still on the insurance policy and everything. I even asked him, I gave him an invitation to give me a visit so we could talk, and he never did.
apologize. Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
It's internet connectivity on my end. I could see when the internet connectivity dropped. Sorry. What I was saying is the bus was in the process of being sold, but the process was not completed. So until the process is fully completed, it remains the ownership of the person name who is on that ownership document of the bus, which is the owner. So the owner should be responsible. So they can't just take away themselves. I mean, they can't just say we're not responsible and no one is responsible. So who's supposed to be responsible for taking care of you at the end of the day?
Well, that's what I want to know. That's what we want to know when we went to the lawyer. Who is going to take care of me? I mean, I, I'm still pretty young. I mean, I have all my life to live still, so I want to know what's going to take
Are you
place.
getting any assistance like from NIS or disability?
It's in the process of doing.
Yeah,
I'm not collecting anything. I'm not collecting anything yet.
6 years later, you haven't gotten anything.
I haven't gotten anything.
God damn.
It's just I don't know what to say, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's sad. I mean, sometimes when folks call me and I tell them my story, they never knew all that was going on.
Yeah, I know. I need people to look into this. I need others to really, really seriously look into this matter right here. Here we have a situation where this young lady got into a bus coming from the bus terminal, and that bus was able to leave the bus terminal, right? I'm not sure what's the checks and balances as it relates to bus leaving the bus terminal, what they have to provide to ensure that they are registered or they're fully licensed and insured. I'm not sure what are the credentials and how often those credentials are checked. But that bus left the bus terminal full of passengers, came down, whatever the reason or the situation was, whether the brakes blew out, whatever it was happened, but it had an accident, right? Fell into the sea. One person died. The bus was full with passengers. This lady that we're speaking to, Beverly, she basically lost all her motor skills. She's unable to walk. She's unable to do regular stuff. She can't work, and she can't do nothing for herself, right? She's just sitting at home, and her daughter had to get water so she could drink. She cannot even pick up a cup of water and drink it. And you telling me the insurance that's supposed to be covering the bus taking away themselves, and the owner who is supposed to be responsible for the bus is saying he's not responsible because he was in the process of transferring the document over to another person and it was not completely transferred. And 6 years later to date, Beverly has not gotten any assistant. That is crazy. And Beverly, I mean, Beverly, I don't blame you having to take it to the media now to let people understand what you're going through, because this is insane. This is madness, right? Beverly, I know it's dark right now. We can't see you, but Beverly, if you stand up, like how many, like what is your current situation? If you stand up, what is it that you can't move, you can't walk? What is your current situation in terms of mobility?
If I if I stand, I have to take a little while to balance myself, and I'll walk, but I'll walk very slow. I can't stand straight, like my I kind of slouching a little, and it's very slow. My ankles are swollen, so I move very slow.
Hmm.
Yep.
No, there's something that is wrong with the situation right here, right? And I'm appealing initially, I'm appealing for some assistance in the immediate to help Beverly, right? In the immediate, right? Um, we'll do whatever we can, Beverly, to immediately assist you. But the people who own that bus, the people, the insurance company, whoever, the dung chain of the ownership is responsible to assist you. They are responsible. And were you paying NIS? Were you paying NIS? Are you up to date with your payments and all of that stuff with
Yeah,
NIS?
yeah,
And you have not gotten any
yes, I'm up
assistance
to
to
date.
date, right?
Not to date because from 2 weeks ago, that's when a friend of mine came and asked me some questions and told me that I should be getting insurance benefits. So they're now working on it. Now in the process. I haven't received anything as yet. Are
Yeah,
you
I'm
hearing me?
hearing I'm hearing you now, Beverly. Again, we apologize, guys. I'm gonna say that a million times. The internet here is not very stable. We'll fix that by tomorrow. But I just want to get this in and get this in now that somebody have to do something about this, right? Beverly, this is not fair to you. It's not fair to you what
Are you hearing me? Genesis, come on, why?
right. Okay. All right. Beverly, we're gonna end here because I can't take the instability with the internet. But I just any last word, Beverly? Any last word before we get internet cut off again? Any last word before you go? And I'm gonna work on this in the background.
Any last word from me?
Yes, because I'm having some problems on my end. I want to fix that. Know that we'll work and get the we'll call a few people and see if we can make some changes for you. But before we get internet drop off again, any last word you want to say to the audience before we cut this segment?
Um, what should I say? I would like the two parties to take up the responsibility and do what they have to do because I already need the help. I already need the assistance.
Okay, all right. Beverly, we'll keep in touch. All right, we'll keep in touch, and we're gonna work in the background and make some changes for you. Okay.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Guys, I know the internet situation is bad, dropping off and stuff like that. But I hope you guys get the essence of her story. Essentially, Beverly is in dire need of immediate assistance. Now, that is and should be the responsibility of the owners of that bus, the people who have ownership of that bus, right? The insurance company cannot just excuse themselves in the event of an accident. That's why people pay the insurance. Now, if the insurance is invalid or there's no insurance, then first of all, it shouldn't be on the road. The vehicle shouldn't be on the road. But in that case, the responsibility then falls on the owner. And when you pull up the document and you see the legitimate owner, they are responsible. Because first and foremost, they're supposed to know that they're supposed to have insurance, valid insurance. So then that responsibility may fall on them. Now, I'm no lawyer, but it just seems like it's layman to me. It just seems like it's regular to me to understand that the bus supposed to have insurance. It didn't have insurance, didn't have proper insurance, as stated here by Beverly. And it was able to be on the road. It got into an accident. The responsible party supposed to do whatever they need to do to make it right. And we hope that they do make it right. But I think it took so long, over 6 years, and the wrong was not made right up to a day like today. So somebody needs to answer to Beverly. I want you guys to start by tagging someone. I'm going to do our work in the background as well to see what we could do to help Beverly. Because I said, sometimes people forget about them thing, like people forget about that story and they move on to the next thing. But at the same time, Beverly can't forget this. Beverly have to live with this for the rest of her life. She can't just take a break and say, you know what, let me just not deal with this today. She has to deal with this for the rest of her life. Yeah? So something need to happen immediately. We're going to do whatever we could do on our end to ensure that we get some question answered from the parties who are responsible, or the parties are the people who are supposed to take up the responsibility in an instance like this. Because if it's you or me or anybody else that have a vehicle that got into some kind of incident or accident like this, we will have to front it. That would mean I may have to sell my cameras to make sure that I take care of Beverly and her current situation. That's how it is. That is how it is. It is how it is. You can't run away from that responsibility. And her lawyer, I should have a conversation with the lawyer. Again, I'm no lawyer. Probably the lawyer know a whole lot more than me. But it just seems that from a layman perspective, it don't take a brain scientist to figure out that Beverly is not being treated fairly in this case. Beverly is not being treated fairly, and something needs to be done to help Beverly and her family. It's been too long. 6 years later, no help, virtually no assistance, and she is in a very, very bad state. We're going to continue to ask the questions. Guys, we'll be right back. Don't move.
Hi, I want $10 on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily Pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
All right, guys. We apologize for our internet connectivity. We had an issue earlier connecting to a server. That is because, as I said, because there's some sort of issue in our broadcast system as it relates to internet. So, rest assured, we're going to look into the story and get back to you on the way forward for Beverly. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Good night.
Live. Feel the vibe, amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people we shine, giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so